let's talk briefly about solving inequalities. So that I can make the video short for you, I'm going to refer you to my video on solving equations. The reason why is because equations and inequalities are solved in the same manner. The same goal applies, the same question applies, and the same process, okay? We need to get x, or whatever the variable that is being used, by itself on one side of the inequality sign now, as opposed to equal sign. We got to ask the same question: what happened to x, or the variable? And the process is do the opposite of what happened to x on both sides of the inequality sign, okay? So with inequalities, if you have seen the video on solving equations, we know that equal signs just simply mean is, but inequalities mean that what's on the left side is not equal to what's on the right side, okay? Now, with that being said, let's talk about what each one of these signs means. We often say that this is less than, okay? Maybe you've heard someone say, there's so many analogies, the crocodile mouth opens towards the bigger number, things like that. This is less than or equal to, okay? Greater than, and this is greater than or equal to. All right, okay. So, like I said, equations and inequalities are solved in the same manner. So if you have any questions about how to do that, please refer to the video on solving equations. There's one thing I would like to mention, and that's why I think it's still important to do this video. When you multiply or divide by an inequality, there's something that we need to do. Let's say we had 2x is greater than 30. Okay, I'm just making up numbers here, but 2x is greater than 30. Okay, so again, like we said, we're going to solve them like we would equations. What that means is we got to get x by itself. We ask ourselves what happened to x. In this case, it's being multiplied by 2. So I'm going to divide by 2 on both sides of the inequality sign. Okay. All right. So that's going to leave me with x is greater than 15. Okay. So if I had equal signs here, okay, that would all be the same, okay? But like I said, the reason I wanted to go ahead and do this video is because of this one, should I say, caveat. If I'm going to, I believe I said greater than, I believe that's what I said. Okay, if I'm going to multiply by a negative number, okay, or divide by a negative number, then that means when it comes down to the final line, I'm going to flip the sign. Okay, flip the sign. Okay, that's just one little thing that I wanted to make you aware of if you're doing inequalities. Okay, so what if we are asked to chart an inequality, or chart that? So we would have to have a number line. I guess we don't have, well, we have a number line, okay? So it's -1, -2, -3, -4. All right. And I have this here, 2x is less than 10, okay? I'm going to divide both sides by 2 because x is being multiplied by 2, and that's going to leave me with x is less than 5. Okay? And I need to chart that. With that being said, that means I'm going to have to introduce 2 more figures here. Okay? This here, it can mean less than. It can also mean greater than. This one can mean less than or equal to. Okay? Or greater than or equal to. Okay? So, with that being said, what I'm going to chart is x is less than 5. Okay? Let me put a 5 up here. So, something being less than 5 means 5 is not included. That's like saying we're having a birthday party for kids and it is under 10. Okay? Under 10 does not include 10-year-olds. So less than 5 does not include 5. With that being said, I'm going to put a circle here, and since it does not include 5, I'm going to leave the circle open. After that, less than, we know that's moving to the left, okay? And I'm just going to draw an arrow there. All right, okay? If the original equation had this or equal to sign, okay, and it caused the answer to be x is less than or equal to 5, then I would have needed to circle this in. Because we know something being or equal to means it is included, okay? So I can remember a time, I'm not going to pretend like I'm a math genius, so I can remember a time when I used to wonder how I was going to remember, how am I going to remember which sign is or equal to or doesn't have an equal to sign, which circle, how am I going to remember? Well, what helped me is realizing this. When I look at the signs that we're probably more familiar with, the alligator mouth, as we sometimes call it, the ones that have or mean or equal to, they require more ink to create. Okay, I have this line drawn under them. And when it comes to the circles, I realized that the one that means or equal to, or the circle that includes the number over which I draw, it also requires more ink to create. Okay, so that helped me to remember if I need to leave the circle open, if the number that's being talked about is not included, or to close it if the number being mentioned is included. Okay, so about 1 more minute and we'll be done with this video. Okay, what if I was just given a scenario, but I needed to chart that? So let's say someone's saying, all right, I need you to bake a cake for whoever, okay? The thing is, this cake needs to be in the oven at least 30 minutes, but less than 50 minutes. All right. So we have our number line again. Let's say 0 is here, just to give me a little more room, okay? So we have 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. I will say we throw 60 up there too. Why not? Okay. So again, the scenario is someone wants me to bake a cake. The thing is, it has to be in the oven at least 30 minutes. Okay. But less than 50 minutes. All right. So I'm going to start with the 2 numbers being mentioned there. Okay. And if they said at least 30 minutes, then that means 30 can be included. Can't be less than 30, but it can be 30. So since this can be included, I'm going to circle that in. Okay, but it said the cake needs to be in there less than 50 minutes. Okay, so less than 50 does not include 50. All right, so I'm going to leave that open. With that being said, less than 30 would lead me to the left, and at least 30, less than 50 would lead me to the left, and at least 30 would lead me to the right, to where those two lines come together. And this is how we would chart such a scenario, okay, where cake in oven, at least 30 minutes, but less than 50 minutes. All right. That may not be an exhaustive speech on solving inequalities, but I believe it will help you to stay sharp during this time. Thank you so much. Have a good day.